Welcome to this episode of Relatively Famous, the podcast where I, Chip White, interview relatives of famous people. My famous relative is Vanna White of Wheel of Fortune. You may notice a few little letters back there. That's my hint to her. So I think it qualifies me to have this little podcast. Today, I'm super excited because we have the daughter of Louis Prima, Lena Prima. And I've never met her, hadn't had a conversation with her, so this is going to be really fun for me. I don't know about her, but for me, it's going to be fun. And I want to thank my sponsors, visitmyrtlebeach.com. If you're looking for the perfect family vacation and you may be traveling with an autistic or sensory sensitive adult or kid, check out the TV show Traveling the Spectrum on Peacock, brought to you by visitmyrtlebeach.com. You can also go to visitmyrtlebeach.com to plan your perfect vacation for surfing and fishing and scuba diving and golf and restaurant and just hanging on the beach. That's visitmyrtlebeach.com. So there you go. Let's meet Lena.
Relatively Famous Podcast with Chip White.
Lena, welcome to Relatively Famous.
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'm great. When Philip, our producer, said he met you and I think your husband at a show, he said, "Man, we got to get her on." And when it worked out, I was super excited to have you on.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Now, you're in New Orleans?
Yes.
Oh, how's the weather?
Well, it's, hot and muggy.
I hear you.
Summertime.
Yep. Okay, so quickly I'll tell my mom, who was a huge Louis Prima fan, story. So it's early 80s. David Lee Roth has come out with Just a Gigolo, and thinking the fancy ladies' man, it's playing. I was laughing at Mom, going, "Man, I love this song. It's so cool." She goes, "That's a Louis Prima song." I went, No, that's David Lee Roth, Mom. And she goes, "Son, that's Louis Prima." I went, "No, that is David Lee Roth." She goes, "Son, it's a Louis Prima song." And I was like, "What?" It was like my first realization that people actually did covers, And then went back and heard the original, and I had to say I like your dad's version better.
Absolutely, me too, of course.
So,
but it was great. It was great that he did it, though.
Yeah, it kind of brought that whole thing back to life. I think because my generation. Sure. I mean, we only knew your dad as King Louis from Jungle Book. I mean, we weren't privy to his music. And you are also a singer, correct?
Yes, been singing professionally since I was 19. Rock singer, heavy metal. I started out, and I've just worked my whole life. Been lucky enough to be in this business for my entire life, and I love it. Yeah.
Rock and heavy metal. Now that I wouldn't have suspected. Tell me about that part of your career, because my wife moved out to LA to be a rock star, and obviously it wasn't the case, but we did the whole Sunset Boulevard pay for play club stuff. What was it like for you trying to break into the rock scene?
Well, I really loved it. That's what I enjoyed doing. I sang in some, when I first started, I sang in some cover rock bands that played in the local clubs in Vegas. They snuck me in the back door because I was underage. So I could, sing in the band. And I joined I formed some all original bands too. We did the whole try to go to LA and, play the clubs and stuff. So that was really fun but hard, because tough being a female metal singer back in those days. That wasn't really happening very much. So it was hard. So of course the band broke up, and then the 90s happened, and I wasn't really into the grunge music. So I was also kind of tired of working day jobs. I was working 2 and 3 day jobs at a time, and then singing in clubs at night. So it was, I was kind of, my friend was a lounge singer, and she said, you could work full time on the circuit if you get in a cover band, that plays in the casino. So that wasn't really, what I wanted to do, but it was great to be able to make a living as a singer. It was tough though. I was kind of doing what my dad did, working, 6 nights a week and like 5-6 shows a night.
Yeah. Your dad was kind of that era where it was not the crooner, but that, like you said, you were an act, and you did dinner clubs and the Vegas stages and stuff. Were you around to see some of that? Were you part of that, or?
Well, I was I was little, but I do, recall being with him. When I was off school in the summer, I traveled with my dad and mom. So I got to, be at the venues. Sometimes they would let kids be in the audience, but not often. So it was either up in where the light and sound guy was, or sometimes just off to the side of the stage. And so I got to really be there and see the action a lot. So I'm lucky I had that time, even though it was, short. My dad was, out of the picture when I was 11.
So your dad went and took home in 1975, passed away in 78. That's 3 years. That's a long time on a family. Was that
Yeah,
tough on everyone? What kind of?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. It would be, traumatic for anybody to go through that, you know. But what are you going to do? It's just it was the way it was.
Yeah, and he was from New Orleans, and now you're there performing. Kind of, look, I've had some amazing times in New Orleans. So, what's it like for you there? What's it like being, the daughter of Louis Prima performing in the Mecca, so to speak?
I absolutely love it. I had come here for the Jazz and Heritage Festival in 2010. They were honoring my dad for his 100th birthday, and I got to perform there. But I also, came for like a 2 week visit and booked some other shows. And I had just the best time of my life. And I had grown up here. We had moved back and forth when I was a kid. My dad always had a place here and a place in Vegas. So I did go to school in New Orleans and also across the lake in Covington. And so I was, I felt like this was home too. But that particular 2 week time that I spent in 2010, really, I just wanted to live here. So my husband and I moved here. We've been here. This is our 14th year. And we didn't even have a job, but I just kind of felt like everything would work out, and it did. As soon as we got here, we opened the Carousel Lounge at the Hotel Montleone, where my dad actually played in the early 70s. There was a club on the top floor called the Skylight Room, and so it's amazing. The Carousel Bar is world famous. It's just got voted this year #1 hotel bar in the United States by USA Today, and it's just a special place right on Royal Street in the French Quarter. It's always fun. There's always people just from all over the world, locals, tourists. It's just everybody's all ages and nationalities of people, just all celebrating and having fun. And I love performing there. I'm just grateful for my job. I love my job.
Now, do people come? Obviously, probably because you're Louis' daughter. That are fans. Were fans. Or do you get some of his older fans that come to, I don't know, kind of relive some of their life? And how do you attract the younger generation who really might not be familiar with him, but really like your music?
Well, it's amazing the amount of young people that are familiar with my dad's music. It's everywhere, really. It's on TikTok, in videos, Instagram. It's TV commercials, series on Netflix, movies. It's everywhere. So there's a lot of young people that are fans. I'm always surprised by the young people who know all the words to all my dad's songs. It blows my mind. So I get all ages in there. Some people, we have people that do know I'm performing there, and a lot of people don't. They just come there because it's the place to be. And then they go, "Oh my God, I love Louis Prima," when they find out that I'm his daughter. And, I play some of his music, of course, and, the Jungle Book song and Pennies from Heaven, other stuff that people would recognize, Just a Gigolo, of course. But, it's great to see how his music is still so popular now.
Yeah, it really is. So music obviously was a huge part of your life, and still is. Great. What did your childhood sound like? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I was a fan of my own dad, so I played his records constantly. I also liked Tom Jones. So I had Tom Jones albums and my dad's albums, and that was pretty much my childhood.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tom Jones fan too. My mom was. Man's got a set of pipes. I actually got a photo of him and my mom before she passed away, and then me and him in L.A. 40 years later and stuff. He's amazing. And then you were talking
that's awesome.
about
My mom took me to see him when I was 7 at Caesar's Palace because I was such a big fan.
what was that like? Okay, because obviously I saw him much later.
It was amazing. We were in the middle of the showroom and in a booth, and it's like filled with ladies, of course, the whole showroom. So when there was a quiet spot, I screamed out, "I love you, Tom Jones," at the top of my lungs. And he said, "Pardon?" And I yelled it out again. And he said, "I'll be down there in a minute." And everyone screamed. So unfortunately, though, as a 7-year-old, that's all I was doing was waiting for him to come down to where we were sitting. And he never did. So I was kind of mad at Tom Jones after that.
Have you seen him since then?
I got to see him when I played at a festival in Detroit. That was, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. And so I did get to take a picture with him.
Okay.
Backstage, yeah.
Because I was going to call him out here on this. Hey, Tom, you owe Lena a photo.
Yeah, I'm still a fan. He's amazing.
Yeah, he really is. The man just keeps going. It's the voice, and he's everywhere for his age. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So Vegas, 7 years old, Tom Jones. To me, Vegas used to be a magical place, man. I saw Sammy Davis Jr. there, and of course Wayne Newton when he was in not its heyday, but close.
Yeah.
What was Vegas like for you growing up there and being around? Was it that kind of magical time, or had it already transitioned into starting to become adult Disneyland?
It was still the old Vegas and very magical. And my dad would make it even more exciting. He loved to go out to dinner, so we would drive straight down the Las Vegas Boulevard, and he would just say, "Look where you are. Everyone wants to be here right now. This is the most exciting place in the world." He would make it very exciting. And I loved that the lights were on all the different hotels, all the different lights, those quirky signs and buildings. It was just really felt like a Disneyland kind of driving down Las Vegas Boulevard as a kid. And then, eating in all the restaurants inside the hotels, and very glamorous time. People were dressed up. Full on jewels and furs, and men in suits and tuxes, and, very, very glamorous, magical place. I loved it.
Yeah. Not like the pajamas and slippers of today's Vegas.
Yeah. I don't recognize it now. It's not the same. It's not the same as it was.
No, it's not, and I hate to sound like the old "get off my lawn, kid," but it was a phenomenal time, and like I said, musically, movie wise, just the whole glamour. It represented glamour, not desperation.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to see it when it was what it was. Which now you can only see it in the original Rat Pack movie, the Ocean's 11 movie. There, you could really see the old Vegas in that movie. Yeah.
Now, your dad acted a little bit, or was in some movies. Did you ever have that, the acting bug bite you, or?
No, not really. I loved dancing and singing, and so I studied dance and in school, and but I wanted to be a singer, so I started super early. Got in my first band. I auditioned in my car because I was so shy to go in and audition. So I was comfortable singing in the car. I said, "Oh, could you just sit in my car?" And they said, "Come on in," and I got my first job that way. So, yeah.
What were some of the I go back to kind of the hairband era, man, because I kind of lived that era too. What was fascinating about that? What was some of the stories? My wife was like you. She liked to eat, so she had a day job while trying to become a rock star.
Right.
What was some of the fun stories that you can share? Because I can't share all of mine.
Well, gosh, I guess my best story is, if you're a rock fan, a heavy metal fan, I had moved to Denver to record an album with Jeff Workman, who produced and engineered a lot of very famous artists: Journey, Queen, Motley Crue, Foreigner, The Cars, Sammy Hagar, and Tom Jones, in fact, because he was also from Wales. So in Denver, my band played at a rock club called Bangles, and we were on stage one night doing our show, our all original show, and my bass player came running up to me and he goes, Queensryche and Metallica are running our lights right now. And I look up and there's the guys from Metallica and Queensryche. So when we were done with our show, the Queensryche band members had all left, but the guys from Metallica all stayed, and they closed down the clubs at like 1 a.m. back then. So we were all just hung out with Lars and James Hetfield and the guys, and had conversations and drinks and stuff. And it was pretty amazing.
And too bad they didn't take you on tour with them. It could have been a different story.
Yeah, too bad.
Opening act, come on. Now the music you do, you said it's a very cross evening. I don't know if I'm going to say this right. Do you do like a show duet like your dad and mom used to do, or is that something you thought about, or kind of making?
No, I did a tribute to my dad back in 2000 for about 5 years, and traveled around and just did a daughter's tribute to her dad. I had some video footage and told stories and did that kind of thing, and then I just put a small combo together and started doing like some jazz stuff. I wanted to record some albums, and I like to write and stuff, so I just started kind of finding my way, what music I liked and didn't like. And so by the time I ended up here in New Orleans, and working at the Montleone, I have just a wide variety of stuff. I play original songs, my dad's stuff. I mean, I even do some of the heavy metal stuff sometimes with just horns, just interesting arrangements of stuff from the 80s, the 70s, stuff I grew up with, the 90s, all kinds of stuff, just interesting arrangements of fun music, just anything so that people have a great time and I'm enjoying myself and the band's enjoying themselves. So it's a really fun atmosphere, just fun music.
And you say you use a lot of horns?
I have 2 horns in my band,
okay,
and piano, bass, drums, keyboard, piano, bass, drums.
Yeah. Okay, cool. The writing music, that always fascinates me, writing songs, because I'm lucky that we get a lot of musically relatives. Like we've had Tess Frizzell and Cindy Cash and Hoyt Axton's son Matt Axton and Billy Vera's son Chad. I don't know. I love Billy Vera. I don't know if you're familiar with his music, but I think he and your dad may have even known each other because their careers were kind of in the same period. But I'm fascinated by songwriting. What's that process like for you? Well,
for me, it's just, it has to happen when it happens. I don't force myself to write. An album to me, or songwriting to me, has to be like, you have to have something to say or something to feel at that time in your life. So it's like an album, like a photo album is. It's like memories of that time in your life. So it's a collection of wherever you are at that time. So every album, I've put out, or songs I've written, are just kind of the place I'm at, I like to collaborate too. So right now I'm working on just some fun party music with my trombone player. We're writing some songs right now that's just nothing serious or heavy, just fun stuff.
If you could duet with anyone, who's your dream duet artist?
Tom Jones.
Oh, I should have known that. Duh. Okay. Other than Tom Jones, who would be your dream?
Ann Wilson from Heart.
Ah, yeah. Great voice.
Yeah. I sort of, she was my idol as a teenager, my only really female. I really followed male singers. Dio would be my first pick if he were alive, of course, because he's my fave. But Ann Wilson, yeah.
Now, maybe we can get the word out so that when people are traveling through New Orleans, they'll stop in and set in on a song with you. How cool would that be?
Well, that would be awesome.
How many nights a week do you play at the hotel?
I play Thursdays and Saturday nights. and the band starts at 9. I start at 10, and we go till midnight.
And that's at the Carousel.
Yep.
And you still do road gigs also, or is this kind of like, you know what,
Sure.
this is enough to keep me?
Yeah, before the pandemic, it was a lot more travel, so it's not as much since then because things got weird, for that. But I do go to Vegas like once a year and play at Myron's Jazz Cabaret at the Smith Center, which is a really fun gig. And other stuff, I do private stuff,
Yeah.
various things around the country. Not as much as before.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of artists I've talked to are, they're just now 3-4 years later kind of getting their road legs back and attendance back and stuff. It was tough on entertainment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now
Yeah.
I've been to New Orleans quite a few times for big conventions, but if I was to go back now, what's the one place you would say, get in the car, Chip, or put on your walking shoes, we're going to go to where?
Gosh, there's not just one place. It's really a small city, so you can do a lot in a short amount of time, but you have to go, you have to go everywhere. You have to go around the French Quarter. You have to eat at, every restaurant you eat at is great. So, my favorite po' boy place is Parkway, which is in mid-city, but that's literally, 5 minutes from the quarter. And everything's close by. So you can do everything. City Park's beautiful. There's lots to do there. There's beautiful botanical gardens and quirky storyland. And there's just so much to do here. The zoo is amazing, and then the quarter is filled with clubs and places to eat and bars and Cafe Du Monde on, in the riverfront. And there's just, you can do a lot in a short amount of time because you can pretty much walk all around the quarter or take the streetcar. Yeah. So there's not just one place.
Okay. When you've been on the road, has there been a specific city? It blends together. I get it, man. I've been on just a small book tour with my sister, and it's like, where are we again? When you've been on the road, has there been a city like, God, you know what? I'm going to make a point to come back here because the gig was so awesome and I didn't see enough of. There's somewhere that you really have wanted to go back to, haven't been able to, or somewhere like, if I'm on the road, this is a must stop for me?
Not really, because I enjoy everywhere I go. It's because it's about I don't know, I guess growing up traveling with my dad, I just love traveling and meeting different people and seeing different places. So to me, everywhere is exciting and interesting, and the people are great. And, I don't really have a favorite place.
Okay. Do you still like to watch the movie Jungle Book?
I haven't watched it in so long. It's been a long time. But yeah, of course. Absolutely.
That truly is probably the best scene in the whole movie. Your dad crushed it.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now your mom, they performed together. And I think she passed away not too long ago. Am I right? I can't remember.
2014,
2014,
believe,
yeah. Did she love watching you sing? Was that something did she get to see you kind of progress into yourself, your
No, unfortunately, my mom forbid me to be a singer, and so she never really came to see me perform. And she ended up just not talking to me towards the end of her life, and she just was I don't know, just didn't want me to be in show business, and because I just defied that, we just didn't have a relationship.
Well, sorry to hear that. I didn't mean to be too personal.
That's okay. I'm sure there's a lot of other people who have the similar story.
Yeah, they are. And again, I don't do a lot of research or any research sometimes. I just have to have a conversation, and I'm not trying to dig dirt up at all.
No, it's okay. I'm all good.
Okay. What is the songs that you've written? Do you have a favorite? Do you have this is my baby and this is the one that I'm going to re-sing till the day I die, till the rest of the world likes it?
Oh my gosh. You know, it's funny with me about songwriting, like I write them, I sing them, I'm into it, and then I move on to the next thing, and I'm like, oh, that was the old me. I don't know. You know what I mean? So whatever I'm doing at the current moment is my favorite thing.
Does it make you happy that people? I mean, I'm happy. I mean, it's fabulous. Like, look, I own up to who my sister's, right? And I'll talk about it, and it always gets brought up. And I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy that the relationship is there. Do you feel that when people come up to you and go, oh my God, your dad was this, your dad was that, or does it feel like, oh, here's another story about my dad? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Absolutely not. I I mean, I feel like the luckiest girl in the world. My dad was amazing, and he was such a joyful spirit and a light for the world, and that's why his music is so beloved to this day. He's really authentically a joy-filled man. So he gave us something we all need in music, and that joyful spirit. So yeah, I mean, and it's an honor for me to talk about him and say he was born in New Orleans here, and when every night that I perform, I love it. It's amazing. I love hearing stories. I love hearing how people are affected by his music or their memories. Sometimes people cry and talk about their memories of my dad and his music and their family or their mom or dad who has passed on who loved him so much. It's a blessing to me.
If there was to be a biopic about your dad, what do you think a pivotal storyline would be? Because I mean, I don't know of any negative about your dad, and again, I'm not delving deep into his life, but I don't know of any negative. Everything I've ever know is positive. What would be this pivotal story? Like, okay, why do we want to know about Louis Prima? I mean, I know I want to, but what do you think a pivotal point in your dad's life that would make a great biopic segment?
Well, I think that the fact that he was such a hero to Italian Americans, back to the generations when Italians were having a rough time and being discriminated against, and he was really a hero, and that part needs to be told. It was very important to him, his Italian heritage. So that, to me, is the thread that would need to be in biopic.
I like that. Yeah. Okay. We're getting close to our time. Is there a question that I didn't ask you or something that, you know what, I really wish we'd have talked about this?
No, I don't think so. I enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, okay. Well, that was easy. um, do you have a favorite song of your dad's?
5 months, 2 weeks, 2 days was always my favorite from the time I was a kid. So I do perform that one always. I just love that song. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Do you have one? It's like every rock star has one. Like, oh my God, that song again. Do you have one of your dad's that's like, I'm kind of tired of it?
No way.
No.
It's funny. My band isn't tired of it either. We love playing my dad's music. They love it too. So I don't know. People don't get tired of it. I don't get tired of it. He had that kind of magic.
Yeah, his music definitely was infectious. Where there was just, you had to move. There was a joy about it, and
Yes.
and humor. I mean, I love the fact he's humor. Was he
Yes.
a funny man off stage?
Yeah. Behind closed doors, he was the same guy. Funny, uh, pretty laid back. Yeah, a joy to be around. He's a big cartoon character.
I like that big cartoon character.
Yeah, he was.
Well, I've enjoyed this. I can't think of anything else that we can answer. We've talked about your music. Tell me again where you play, when you play, and how fans can get to know you better.
Yeah, come to New Orleans. Come visit. I'm at the Hotel Montleone at the Carousel Bar and Lounge Thursdays and Saturday nights. The band starts at 9. I go on from 10 to midnight. Come see us. I'm on Instagram at Lena Prima, and my website's lenaprima.com.
Cool. And you know what? When you go, tell her you heard about her on Relatively Famous.
Yeah.
Lena, thank you so much for your time today. It's been fun. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of your dad's. And when I come to New Orleans, I'm going to come hear you sing. Because
Awesome. Thanks
I'm not
for
going to get
having
on
me.
stage with you, though, because you don't want to hear me sing.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Lena. That was amazing. I'm so happy Lena was on the show. And I suggest if you are new and you aren't familiar with her dad's music, go Google Louis Prima and check out his songs. And be sure to check out Lena when you go to New Orleans. I want to thank our sponsor again, visitmyrtlebeach.com. Go plan your perfect vacation along 60 miles of the Grand Strand, some of the most amazing beach in the country, and along South Carolina coast. That's visitmyrtlebeach.com. visitmyrtlebeach.com. I want to thank Nelco Media for producing the podcast. I want to thank Nelco Comics here in San Antonio for the amazing comic book shop location. If you're looking for a crazy cool comic book or that specific comic book, check out Nelco Comics in San Antonio. They might have it. If you're related to someone famous or you know someone famous, that relative that might want to be on the show, reach out to me at podcastrelativelyfamous@gmail.com, podcastrelativelyfamous@gmail.com. And again, I'm humbled that you would spend your time with us. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and have an amazing day.
You've been listening to Relatively Famous with Chip White. Please like and subscribe to Relatively Famous with Chip White.